Hey everybody. I want to talk about sort of the news this week about what's been going on with Representative Ilhan Omar, and kind of sort of the um, disappointing reactions of everybody on both sides, frankly, um, about all of this. So the one thing that's missing from this whole charade is adult behavior. You know, acting your age, acting our age. Uh, you know, it's bad adulting, is what it comes down to. And so I'll get all into all of that. If you don't know, Representative Ilhan Omar, she is a representative in the U.S. House of Representatives. She is from Somalia. That's in Africa. Somebody says she came here as a Somalian refugee. She was, I believe she's from Minnesota, I think, Minnesota. So she was in the state government there in 2016. The representative of her district announced she wasn't going to rerun, so she ran in her district and she got elected. So now she's the U.S. House. She's in. She's a what do you call it? She's a representative. She's a congresswoman in the U.S. House of Representatives. She is, I believe, the first Muslim woman to serve in the House of Representatives, and also the first one to wear the traditional Muslim head covering. The depending on where you're from, the hijab, hijab. Everybody from different parts of the world pronounce it differently. This here is Texas, so it's the hijab. But I know that that's not the correct way to say it. But the traditional Muslim head covering, right? So she's the first one to wear it, and they had to pass a House resolution, the first of its kind, to allow for that. That's cool. That means that we're growing as a country. We're more diverse, and I appreciate the fact that our House of Representatives is starting to look more like the country that it represents. So that's great. I consider it progress. As all things, when you become a U.S. congressperson, and I'm a lead with this. When you become a U.S. congressperson, you can expect that the millions of eyes that are now upon thee, hundreds of millions of eyes now upon thee, are gonna go ripping and shredding through your entire life, decades before you're even born, to your parents, your grandparents, and all that stuff, right? They're gonna go down your entire bloodline, okay? So you should just be ready for it and be prepared for it. And I think she probably kind of was, because inevitably, people went digging back through her social media stuff and found, girls, y'all need to calm down. Clean up. Parenting. I hear them actively destroying toys. So, but anyways, they found as anti-Semitic tweet from 2012, which they dug up. This is like 4 years before she was ever even considering being in government. It wasn't made while she was serving in government, and she apologized for it. But then she made another statement as a U.S. House of Representatives, again against Israel and against Jews. And so again, she apologized for it. And then she made a third one. And again, this time she didn't apologize for it. And the Democrats kind of sort of circled the wagons around her. They passed a House resolution barring anti-Semitic speech, which for one, I think is amazing that they have to pass a resolution for anti-Semitic speech. You would think something like that would be on the books already, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's just crazy. And it makes no mention of her by name, right? But everybody knows why, right? This is where it gets disappointing for me. It gets disappointing because I understand the fact that the Democratic Party is overwhelmingly it appeals to minorities, the people who have typically been underrepresented in Congress. The blacks, Hispanics, Asians, everybody that's not white, right? For the last 2 years, we've had President Donald Trump and the Republican Party. It's basically been a whole bag of white flour for the last 2 years. Donald Trump says offensive, inappropriate things daily. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. That man is shitting out the mouth. And Republicans are just like, he's Trump, he's the president. What can you do? No doubt in my mind, though, if Trump were in the House of Representatives, he would have already been gone, right? The only reason he's still in the government is because of the position he holds, not because of his composition as a human being, right? Now, back in January, I think it was, Congressman Steve King just asked the question of, since when was being a white supremacist racist? Either that or he said, since when is white supremacy a racist term? He asked something along the lines of, basically, since when is white supremacist a bad term or a bad thing, right? Or a racist thing? Asks the question. Gets ripped up and down, gets all of his committee seats revoked. He gets sanctioned, called out by name by the Republican Party. Democrats pass a resolution with no mention of Ilhan Omar anywhere in it. They're not calling her out by name. She didn't apologize. She wasn't sanctioned. She wasn't pulled down from any of her committee seats. Zero consequences for 3 separate anti-Semitic statements. And in one way, I can understand, right? Because finally, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. She said something offensive? Oh, and now you're acting snowflakey because of something she said. Oh, well. I understand how you feel. I can understand that. Okay, I can understand that feeling, that emotion. However, if for 2 years your position is that offensive statements are unacceptable, offensive statements have no business being in the government, protecting your own and playing party politics is abhorrent and reprehensible, circling the wagons to protect an individual person or politician, Trump, is disgusting, then when it's your turn, you lead by example. You don't immediately turn around and fling shit back at the shit flingers. Now, I'm bringing all of this up because when it comes to dealing with narcissists, dealing with people who run their mouth, who say shit you don't like, the people who bring your day down, the people who just give you shit. I've done other videos on this as well. You don't want to try to give them a taste of their own medicine. It makes you look bad. Plus, they thrive on it. When you turn around and quote, show somebody what it's like, in that moment, in that specific moment, you make yourself look worse. You make them look better, and you energize them. Now, yes, the history leading up to it matters to you, but to the observers, to everybody else around, or for the people just now seeing this dynamic for the first time, It makes you look bad, makes them look good, gives them the points, and it further motivates them. So what should have happened, and this is disappointing from all angles. People, like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has come out and said that there is that people are now openly targeting minority women of color in Congress. No, they fucking aren't. You're a congresswoman. You're a congresswoman. There are well over 100 million eyes on you. You're not being targeted. You're in the spotlight. You're on the stage where all of your little mess ups, all of your little mistakes, your little failures at choreography, same as if you're on a dance squad performing and you're on a dance squad up on the stage and the whole audience is watching you and everybody's doing their thing and you miss your turn. It's out there for everybody to see. And if you're white and you miss your turn, or if you're off-white and miss your turn, it's not like color had anything to do with missing your turn. You missed your turn. Okay? Hate speech is something that generally people do not like. Am I surprised that a woman from Somalia in 2012 said something off, that was, off color, no pun intended, but off color about Israel and Jewish people? Not all that surprised about it. Why? Because she's Muslim. She's from Africa. It was 2012, back when she just had a private life and nobody knew who she was. It's not the end of the world. That was 2012. It's 2019. She's had 7 years of growth since then. At least she had the opportunity for the last 7 years to grow. I don't think she really did all that much. But I'm just saying, the practice of going all the way back in the Wayback Machine to 2012 to find something offensive about Jews in Israel written by a girl from a Muslim woman from Somalia. It can happen. It's not surprising, and it's not the end of the world. To do it and say it as a congresswoman repeatedly, with no apology, no remorse, and apparently with the backing and the support of the party, makes you look just the same as Republicans and Donald Trump. And so in that regard, I think that the political movement behind voting in a record-breaking number of women into the House of Representatives, a record-breaking number of minority women into the country, I think that this has been a major blow to that. Yes, sweetie? What? Okay, just a minute, sweetie.
Okay, thank you.
Parenting. Bye. It has taken the piss out of that, and in 3 months, if even 3 months, it's now like the middle of March, 2019. So they've been in session like just a couple of months, and already 3 statements, 3 anti-Semite statements, 2 of which were made during her term as a congresswoman. I think it was just a really sad missed opportunity. Yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you on the next video.